Alright, hey guys, this is Bezmor, and this is another TW vid for you guys. And just some info thrown out there. This is Karma vs. GoldDigrz. We're attacking, I believe. And again, my squad is the designated left path cata-killing squad, so that's our main job. So again, not as much offensive play is going to be seen in this, but I'm going to show you some things, I guess, that are cool. So yeah, if you've seen either of the two previous Psychic TW videos, there's a bunch of just those common tips that are going to make you a lot better, and that's things like, defense charms, squad T menuing, and things like that. And since I've already said those in those previous videos, I figure if I say them again, it's not really going to help, so I don't, yeah, if you haven't heard the tips about like just general things to do, like using your T menu, using assist attack, using charms, and like how to not screw up wasting your APOF and stuff like that, go view the previous TW videos. There should be, I think, 2 of them. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and commentate on this TW and go through it here. So as you can see, our squad's kind of getting pushed back. They've got 2 BMs, and here I just straight up expelled, and then I have my genie set up so that I can expel and then fortify immediately after. So a lot of people, when they see that expel buff, their immediate BM response is to like Roar of the Pride them or something, since they can't hit you with the physical attacks. So by having my genie set up where I can use expel and then immediately use fortify right after, I can do that combo where I immune to all that incoming burst damage, and then I block any incoming CC so I can walk back out and then turn and fight. So that's kind of how I used my genie right there. And here I'm just, psychic willing to protect myself from this guy. Because it's a lot of the time, if you're getting focused in TW, it's all about survival, knowing how to survive and using everything. Like, you have to cycle everything properly and at the same time manage your chi. A lot of lesser experienced players in games, like not just PW but all kinds of games, that they don't manage things like chi or mana properly. And so yeah, that's just another advantage of, I guess, Sage Psychic, is the chi abundance. But anyways, so we were kind of stalling, and again, these cats are just pushing past without their support, which is good for us. So we sit back, we kill that support while people CC the barbs in front, and then we come back and we kill the barbs when they don't have as much support, which makes our lives a lot easier. But they are pushing a lot more people than we had, so I believe we have reinforcement squads being called over from another path or something like that. And yeah, at this point, Purify proc, yay. Oh yeah, so another thing is when you get S3 weapon, or you have a rank 8 recast weapon with the Purify proc, I've found that it's generally good when it procs, just kite back. Like, don't try to fight as much, because if you're in range to get hit, you might be out of position, and being out of position means you might die. So it's generally like, if you see that thing proc, just run back. Like, unless you're on the offensive, but if you're outnumbered and on defense, you get that proc, use that 4 seconds where you can just run for free. Definitely try to move back. So anyways, again, here I got purged, and you see, I thought about ADing, but I didn't, because I said, alright, the Vino purge, but there's a BM, and I'm not going to get hit. So I was able to run, I don't know, maybe 20 meters back, and then now I have the AD for when they try to kill me. So that BM couldn't really do anything to me right there, and then I chain into my Psychic Will, so now the BM damage is doing nothing to me, and they have a wizard trying to kill me, but it doesn't matter because I chained everything properly, and then I got out of range so I could Holy Path, and now I'm in a slightly safer location. Still not safe, but because I used my Psychic Will here, I couldn't just sit there and Psychic Will, so that's why I moved to the side to get out of Blade Tornado, because it's a very lethal skill coming out of S3 BMs, especially against Arcane classes. And PDEF charms, nothing works against it except physical immunity. So if you have your Expel up or your Psychic Will up, then you can just use that and sit inside it, no problem. Otherwise, you really you have to get out of its range as fast as possible, because pretty much 2 or 3 ticks, I think at 3 ticks, you're pretty much going to die from it. Doesn't really matter who you are. So be aware of that. And like I said, I used my AD after the purge, not to block the purge, because I don't think I could have blocked it in time. So I save the AD, and then I chain it into something else, and then I chain it into something else, and then I'm aware that everything's on cooldown, so when I see that Blade Tornado, I don't panic and hit my Psychic Will and go, oh shoot, I don't have it on cooldown, I already know what's happening. Managing, in your head, you gotta know how much chi do I have, how much chi have I used, how much chi is it gonna cost if I want to do this, and is this on cooldown? Can I use it to escape? Etc., etc., etc. Things like that. And if you're aware of just your skills, your cooldowns, then that'll make you a better player, especially in a TW situation where you might be getting hit by things over and over and over again, and you need to be able to manage everything properly. So, just chi management, cooldown management, things like that, you definitely just need to get a feel for it. And if you've got that down, you want to start learning for how your squad is. Like if you've got a Vino in your squad, you want to know when their purge is on cooldown, when your BM's HF is going to be up, things like that, so that you can try to use those things to your advantage. So yeah, as you can see, we've pretty much cleared out this left path now. We're just finishing up people. And then there was some miscommunications, I believe, in the TWHQ or something like that, so I think we had to switch to a different path at this point. I think it was right path. We had to go back and help. But yeah, we're just rebuffing right now because this is a good opportunity to do it. Like right now while we're rebuffing, half their people are in base sealed, so we're taking advantage of that time, and then we'll make our move to, wherever we want to go. I think we might push up this lane before we have to get switched over. I can't exactly remember. Yeah, so we switched over to right path because they were getting pushed pretty hard. All those people we sent back to base decided to change over to the right path. So then we just went over there as well to give our other squad a hand. And Psychic with the 79 fly skill, you can get there faster than anybody else in the game, pretty much. So that's why I'm here, and you can see my squad is kind of filtering back over. So when I get to a place first, what I do is I tell my squad what's there, about where they are on the path, like if they're on their side of the path, if they're on our half of the path, something like that. I tell them there's barbs here, there's clerics here, there's this person here, there's that person here. Just giving them information so that while they're flying to the destination, they know what the situation is at the destination, and they can immediately start making plays. Additionally, as you can see, I came ahead to try and catch this barb who was running because I still have a +0 weapon, so my damage is still non-factor pretty much, but I can do a lot of things. Like I got my diminished vigor in here, and then I also stunned him so that the other people could catch up, and as you can see, they're dealing with stuff back there while I'm keeping this guy here, and our cleric was smart to god seal it because we didn't have the damage dealer here on this barb at that point, so we set it up for a kill, but then we just god seal it and move on to other targets. So it's all just a matter of coordination and things like that. And since I was in HQ, that other squad leader, who was the cleric, was telling me things like, get ready to kill this guy when his stuff runs out. And I was going to, except for the part where I got occultized and I couldn't do anything. But anyways, I can still do some nice damage to clerics, so that's why I'm ignoring the barbs, because we've got wizards here now. So I'm trying to get on these clerics and just keep them from doing their job of healing the barbs. And I call for an assist, my archer right there. The two of us together drop these clerics pretty fast. S3 archers OP, no questions there. So yeah, it's coordination, as you can see again. Now we're just left with like 2 barbs and a BM or something like that, and we drop them pretty fast. And I just turn my camera angle to see if there's anything coming, because again, with my damage not being on par, like, this is the same thing if you're a rank 8 psychic fighting in a rank 9 world, you can still make yourself very useful even if you don't do damage by just using your skill set, the toolkit that you have. So as you can see, I tab again to a cleric and she's purged, so I know I can try to get the kill, do that, and then switch. Once all that support is out of the way, then why not help kill the barbs, definitely. Things like that. So, there's so many people that are like, oh, if you don't have rank 9, you can't do anything. But, I think that's just a load of crap. Like, you're squishy, maybe, but you can still do a lot. And if you use your skills properly, like even undergeared psychics can kind of make a difference because of skills like Psychic Will. You can go physical immune. Becoming physical immune means they can't really kill you without a super strong magic damage dealer. And in a situation like this, they're probably not going to be targeting you, which means even somebody like a rank 8 +5 psychic with Immaculate Shards is going to be making a difference by stunning people, diminishing vigor, glacial shards, anything you can do. And if you have Soul Force, it's even half decent. You can soul burn people to help stuff out. So after we cleared that, we pushed all the way up the path because they tried to come down again. So as you can see, we just I stand in front and I get ready to start doing my job of helping to assist people. And so yeah, this is just pretty basic TW so far. Nothing too crazy has gone on. But I believe coming up is a part where I actually get to use a Mirai skill, which is really kind of funny because they're so useless. But I found a situation to use one, so I was happy. But anyways, as you can see, I'm on a cleric again, and I'm just trying to keep these clerics from doing their job because unless you have a really strong, weapon, or you're a wizard, wizards, even with a half decent weapon, can still do good damage output if they set up properly. So that's why I'm just ignoring the barbs and I'm trying to do the support. And here we go, Spirit Phalanx, and the Sin on my cleric doesn't get to kill my cleric. Yay! And that's a really good thing to do if you want to save your cleric, because if they're below half HP, it'll give their, it's a 10-second freeze where they're immune to damage. So that 10 seconds mean their charm's going to tick. And if they're, say, right above half HP, so they're not going to get charm ticked, their charm won't heal them when they come out of it, that skill automatically heals at the end of its duration. So it's a pretty cool saving skill. But Psionic Link, I will say this again, I've said it all in my previous videos, it's useless. The skill does not work. I've linked somebody in the middle of Nation Wars, and it just doesn't work. It only works in very small situations, but when there's just a ton of stuff happening, it doesn't work. The skill is broken or bugged or something. Anyways, enough ranting about that. So we moved back to left path because they decided to give up on that right path push, and our squad, throughout this TW, there was numerous times where they were just kind of sitting at these two towers here, and we're sitting here well, we can't go push in base because then they'll just run towards ours. So we got bored at one point, and we decided that we would take a page out of the League of Legends book and start tower diving. So if you don't know what that is, that's fine, don't worry about it. But yeah, we got bored and we just decided to tower dive, but I don't think you're going to get to see that yet. This is just earlier. As you can see, they're afraid of leaving their towers, because trying to engage us, they can't do it. We've shut them down so many times on this left path that they're not exactly sure what to do. And this is a good situation to be in because it gives you flexibility. So if they're going to sit at their towers, then that's a full squad or a squad and a half or two squads of their people that aren't on B lane stopping our catapushes. They aren't in their base trying to kill our cats. And as you can see, we've got a BM, a cleric, a Vino, another cleric, actually 3 clerics over there. So that's a lot of people that they have on this left lane doing absolutely nothing for their TW as a whole. And here's the first part where we tried to tower dive, and both the Sin and the BM derped really, really hard and got movement sealed before they could actually go in. But I decided to go in anyway despite that and drop my AoEs, and so did the Wizard, because we didn't derp and we didn't get caught in the towers. But anyway, so we went into tower dive because we just were they're all sitting there, we might as well make a play or something, because just sitting here is boring. So we went in and we wiped out a few clerics. I think we got 2 of the 3 clerics, and we wiped out a BM and a Sin, I think, something like that. And then as a result of that, we get in, we do all that, and then their barb decides to come out, and so now we get to kill this barb without having to do anything. So that tower dive, it didn't go right because both the BM and the Sin kind of derped. You saw it right there. They got in and got sealed right before they hit their IGs. So it didn't go as planned, but you'll see they redeemed themselves later because we did it more than once this TW. We just kept tower diving. Because frankly, if they're just gonna sit there and do absolutely nothing, then we're gonna mess with them because we can and we like doing it. So yeah, I think you'll see another tower dive a little bit later. So yeah, if you're gonna do that, the strategy I found the most effective on a psychic is to vac powder. You get 20 seconds of anti-stun, which means you'll be able to get into the turrets no problem. And then when you get in there, it's not the damage that's that bad because you don't lead on the psychic. You let your BMs or our Sin initiates with a title, subsea strike. So they get most of the tower damage. So the vac powder allows you to get in, do a bunch of damage, and get out if that's what you want to do. The IG, it's only 12 seconds, and since you're not really taking too much damage, it's not exactly the most effective on a psychic. It works on other classes. So anyways, as you can see here, we're just nuking people because they decided to push through right after we tower dive and wipe half their support, which was a really bad call on their part. So right there, Psychic Will combined with Fortify, I blocked the Roar of the Pride, and I thought that Sin was going to come for me instead of go for my Cleric, which is probably my bad. I should have tried to save my cleric there. But that Psychic Will 10-second duration was really cool because it blocked half of that BM's combo right there. Gave me time. I popped my Apoth because I felt unsafe. I didn't need to pop it there, but I knew if I didn't, I'd probably get re-CC'd and then I might die. And it's better safe than sorry. A 2-minute cooldown versus getting sent back to base, it's not worth it. So anyways, I get out of that situation fine. I didn't make the mistake of apothing and then trying to fight, I got out, get repositioned, because now that's a huge cooldown. It is 2 minutes, and it was worth it to use it, but I didn't waste it. You get in the right position and then do your job. Again, because it's a defensive situation. So yeah, we're just, focusing down people's, because, they made a really bad call to push out from the towers right after we wiped like 3 of their supports. I think they assumed that most of us died in the process of that tower dive, and really only like 2 of us did. So here's the second one. As you can see, the Sin goes in with IG, the Wizard goes in with IG, and then I pop my vac and just holy path in. And then I think I just start AoEing like that. And so this tower dive is, this is the good one. We pretty much went in and just wiped everybody. Everyone was getting dropped, except for the Catabarbs, but that's fine, because Catabarbs with no support are as good as dead. So anyway, we pushed through the tower, and I holy pathed all the way through, because I wanted to make sure when my vac ran out, I wouldn't be in the bind range. So as you can see, I positioned myself way over here on the side, and then I just start trying to nuke stuff. And that was... we just wiped pretty much everybody except for their Catabarbs and a BM and their Vino. And then once we wiped all the support, we just come in and we finish them up here. So yeah, that's I think our squad should be renamed to Tower Dive Left, but they haven't done that yet. I'm still petitioning for that. Anyways, so as you can see here, the Vino was left, and we're like, no, you're not going to purge us. So we all focus the Vino down, then we focus the last person standing, which I believe is the Blade Master and the Barb. Pretty simple. I thought that she was going to smack the Archer instead of me, which is why I went for the stun instead of trying to block that. But it didn't matter. 1 BM is not really going to hurt you when you've got 6 people here, 7 people, 8 people. So yeah, anyways. The nice thing about this is we just sent a whole bunch of people back to base, which is kind of bad because our faction is pushing the B lane. But, I mean, we're just sending, they're not too much back in the end. And they're sealed for 30 seconds anyways. And the nice thing about this is when we just wipe this left lane like that, see, we pushed through the towers, we wiped everybody that was there, and nobody on our squad died. So as a result, we get to push into base, and as you can see, now we're in base with our support. So we sent back those, 12 people, maybe 10 people that they had, and we send our 8 into the base, and we get to, start helping out. Now, in the base, you gotta be careful, especially if you don't have a good computer. Lag is the number one, killer in here. So I've got an Archer on me, and I decide to burn my 80 just because I don't want to die, and if a purge procs, I would die. He decides to kite back, which I anticipated, so I immediately switched to the Vino because I don't want anybody to Nova or purge, and I get stunned here, but it's okay. I just keep fighting, keep stunning, and I pop the Apoth because this is an offensive situation. We're in base, we're trying to end it, the crystal's getting low, and I can hear them counting down the crystal HP, so that's why I didn't just immediately run away. Now the Vino comes and purges. That's a different story. The TW's not quite over, and I don't want to die, so I immediately get back here, and then I believe I go White Voodoo because no buffs, it's free kills for an Archer, and I don't want that. And at this point, I knew the TW is over because I was hearing the countdown, and I just decided to peace out as far as that goes. And there's the victory. So yeah, I hope you guys learned some good tips from that video. If you've got questions, leave them in the comments, and I will see you next time.